Welcome, Middlers, to the Medium in the Middle podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I take you on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual exploration. I am a Reiki master teacher, a spiritual and business mentor, and of course, a psychic medium. And I am here to share my story and help you tap into your extraordinary abilities. Join me every Wednesday as we dive into the realms of intuition, energy healing, and all things mystical. Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or just dipping your toes into the magical waters, this podcast is your go-to source for inspiration, guidance, and a whole lot of lessons and laughter along the way. Let's get started. Hello, Middlers. Welcome to episode 279. Welcome back if you're a Middler, and welcome if you are new to the podcast. If you want to hear my journey starting from episode 1 is where I begin my spiritual awakening, I guess you can say. So if you are just opening up in your spiritual development and you need some answers and you don't want to feel so alone, go back and start at episode 1. Those first 10 episodes are usually very helpful for people who are going through their own and trying to figure things out and trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. So my story is told from episode 1 in order. Today I have a special guest on. I usually don't have guests on the podcast, so when I do, it's very special. This special guest has been on the podcast before. We've done in-person group readings together. We've done virtual group readings together. She has podcast episodes about her. She's been on the podcast before talking about mediumship. She is my number one mediumship referral. If you've ever asked me for a reading, I've said, no, sorry, I don't do mediumship, but if you want a reading, you should go see my friend, a medium named Bri. So Bri and I met when we were both starting our business 5 years ago. Or I guess more than 5 years ago now. And she's also Canadian. We clicked. She's great. She is amazing at her job. I can say that as a client of hers. I have paid her for a reading. I can also say that as someone who's worked beside her. Like I mentioned, we've done a group reading together here in Banff. We did a virtual group reading online together. And yeah, she's incredible. So she is my number one referral. If you've ever asked me for a mediumship reading, I've sent you to a medium named Bri. And today she's coming on the podcast so we can talk all things mediumship and have a fun little chit chat. So before we jump into my conversation with Bri, just a few quick announcements. The September Mediumship Practice Circle is happening this Saturday, September 20th. I host a mediumship practice circle for all developing mediums every single month. All levels are welcome. I'm serious. It can be your first time. It can be your 5th time. It could be your 10th time. Come and practice with us. I give you a lot of guidance. You're practicing with other new mediums. It is a good, safe space to be. And then the next Reiki Level 2 is September 27th and 28th. My next Reiki Level 1 is October 4th and 5th. And just as a reminder to all small business owners to save the date, my once a year strategic business planning masterclass is happening on October 25th. Save the date or block off 4 hours of your time to do the workshop. Block the time off now. Fall is coming soon enough. End of October will be here when you blink. All the links you need will be down below in the show notes in order to register for the monthly mediumship practice circle or a Reiki course. So let's jump into this conversation. Enjoy. Okay, hello. I'm here with my number one referral, a medium named Bri, and I'm very excited to have you back on the podcast. I got a lot of people asking to bring you back on the podcast and to talk about medium stuff. So hello, welcome.
Hello, I love talking about medium stuff, and your referral is my referral. When someone needs Reiki, I send them your way. And anytime someone's like, "How do I start, like getting in touch with my intuition?" I'm like, "Take Reiki. It will
Yeah.
help you open that up, help you get in touch with something that has always been there.
Yeah. Actually, that is something we have in common. We both love Reiki,
I
which
love
is,
Reiki.
yeah, Reiki's the best. So, we're going to talk about some medium things. And I know you've been doing a lot of group readings, and we've done group readings together. So, we did group readings on Zoom together. You came out to Banff, and we did an in-person group reading. So, I thought maybe we could yap about like the difference between group and one-on-one because I love group just as a listener because you see spirit be so strategic of what they say and how they hit multiple people. But you just did how many group readings are you say? 50?
Yeah, I mean, like, I love mediumship. I can talk about this all day. It's like my soul bloodline within me. But yeah, I just hit 6 years of coming out as a medium named Bri. And with
Wow.
that, I just did my 50th group reading, and I'm celebrating 3,000 medium readings.
Wow. Clap, clap, clap. That's amazing. Yes.
Crazy. I deserve a long nap now.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you deserve a year off. Um, yeah, you've kind of been the master of the group readings. You've been doing a lot. You've been traveling around doing them. And yeah, let's start there. What are your favorite things about doing group?
Oh my God. Well, our group reading in Banff is like a standout as one of my like all-time favorites. And I think that
That
was
was
a
a good
part of
one.
like kicking off my like doing group readings in person, actually. I think I did that one and then I came back to Kitchener and did one then and then just it just kept going. And
Mm,
group readings are so incredible because first of all, it's a lower investment. So you're not, paying the fee of mediumship. You're getting to pay a smaller fee, see if you like the medium, see if it is the vibe. And it is literally like witnessing a miracle because you don't have to be getting read in order to be experiencing the profound healing and transformation that comes with mediumship. Like it's for all of us in the room, even myself. I'm always blown away. Um, I'm just thinking of one of a recent one, and I was in Halifax, and right away I'm like, all right, I've got a Joan coming through, and this girl's just like, I love to start with a name because Spirit always gives me a name for like my first one, and it's always just like mind blowing. And in that moment, it's like, how could you possibly like know that? Like the earlier I can like wow everybody in the group, it's like
yeah.
the earlier we've got everyone, and then we can just get to the good stuff, sink right in, and then the magic can just kind of flow effortlessly.
Yeah. And I think that's true even as a medium, and I'm sure this is true for you too. Like it never gets old for us. We're like, wow, like that was a good piece of information. Or
Never gets old.
sometimes, yeah, when they say something so specific, I was like, yeah, like that was awesome.
Right? It's
And
always like, isn't that crazy? How would I possibly know that? And it
mhm,
just like blows me away.
yeah. And I've even attended some of your group readings in Calgary, and it's
And
just,
you've gotten some messages yourself, which is always like so funny. I always say if like a fellow medium or intuitive is coming to like turn your little channel on, like see if anything comes through. I'm always like, when it's you, I have so much trust in you. So I'm always like, speak up. Like if you
yeah.
and I think you actually did a podcast episode about that,
Yeah, I
right?
did. That was a few years ago when I interrupted your reading. I always think it's interesting too. I love to listen to like other mediums or other psychics because I'm trying to like figure out how they work or like what information they're getting and how they're delivering it. I'm like, oh,
Mm.
interesting, interesting. It makes me think of my friend got a psychic reading and she was like, oh, it was no good. She was talking about this, she was talking about that. And I was like, I was like, I've heard that this lady is really good. I was like, let me listen to your reading because we kind of understand things in a different way. And she kept talking about this boy in her life, this boy in her life, this boy in her life. She's like, I have no boys in my life. And I was like, So I listened to the reading and like within the first 10 minutes and I was like, this is your brother. I was like, you were thinking romantic boy in my life. So everything she said after that didn't make sense. I was like, this is your brother. Now everything she said makes sense. And I find in mediumship too, everyone wants that certain person. But when it's someone else, you're like, oh yeah, I didn't even think of that person. And all of this makes sense for them. So it's
People
interesting to
get
kind of be on
stuck.
both sides.
Yeah, people get stuck all the time in tunnel vision of wanting to hear what they want to hear. And spirit
Yeah.
doesn't always tell you what you want to hear. Spirit tells you what you
Yeah.
need to hear.
Yeah.
And I always, something I've been like experiencing a lot with spirit lately is just like people can only receive the information that they have the capacity to receive. So I
Mhm.
might say, your dad is wanting you to mend things with your mom and like talk about stuff in your childhood. And they're like, what? No, my childhood's perfect. And I'm like, was it? But if someone's not ready to explore that, they're not ready to explore that. In 10 years, they're going to be like, damn, that medium was right. But today, they're going to be like, what do you mean it's perfect? And I'm like, oh, it doesn't, from what Spirit's showing me. That and
Yeah.
in groups too, it's funny. I'm thinking about one in Kitchener I did where right off the hop, this name's coming through, this grandma, she's so fierce, no one's claiming her. And then later on, I read this girl talk to her mom, and she's like, oh my God, that was my grandma. Like, that's her name, that's her personality. But she's like, I was so focused on my mom coming through that I didn't even notice it was her. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And
mhm.
sometimes it's the opposite too, where I've had a few of them stick out where someone has come through and they're like mad. They're like, I don't want to talk to that person. I don't want to talk to my dad. I don't want to talk to my mother-in-law. I'm like, okay, well, she's here and saying this, this, this. Well, nope, nope, that can't be right because I don't want to talk to her. And I was like, okay. I was like, I have no hold on this if you don't want to talk to her, and that's fine. But it's also interesting when you don't get the person you want. Spirit's always in charge. We're just their little puppeteers.
Yeah, I find it really, really tough and um, dare I say upsetting as a medium
Mm,
when somebody's loved one has just worked so hard to get through to bring a message and the person's like, no. And it's like, okay, but the dad you don't want to talk to is actually here to apologize to you and to create healing. Yeah, and it
yeah.
breaks my heart because I'm like, that person's in the afterlife, they've learned so many things, they've changed. They're a whole and people, "Oh, that doesn't sound like my dad." Yeah, because your dad had to go through a
Yeah.
whole spiritual experience. He's a whole new person, and he wants to, like, give you that relief, but they might not wanna hear it, and it's just hard as a medium to then go to that person in the afterlife because it's such a real experience for us to say, "She doesn't wanna talk to you."
Yeah.
And it
And I guess that kind of leads to my one of my questions where how can people prepare for a mediumship reading? Because I've been the medium and I've been the sitter. And when I teach mediumship, I always tell my students being a sitter is hard. You're being thrown information. You're like, where's the K name? Who had the slippers? Who makes apple pie? Who? And you're like, So what are some maybe tips that you recommend of like, yeah, when information's being thrown at you? Because it's fast and it's like, oh yeah, where's the apple pie? Where's the slippers? Where's the K name? I always recommend that people write it down. I was like, it'll make sense later. And it does not have to make sense now. This is going to be recorded. So listen to it later, but just write everything down because the amount of times, and again, I'm sure this has happened to you, 3 weeks later, I get an email. Oh my God, my uncle's name is Ken. How did I forget?
yeah.
And yeah, who's the A name? Who's the A name? No, no, no. Who's the A name? Who's the A name? No, no, no. What's your mom's name? Anna. Oh, like again, we're not thinking Anna, we're thinking mom. Yeah, are there any tips that you recommend when someone's coming into
Oh
a
my
reading
god.
to get the most out of it or to,
Oh,
I guess, be
I
open
hear
to receiving?
I hear you on that, and it's our job as the medium to take our ego out of it. I'm like, anytime people want to tell me I'm wrong, I'm like, by all means.
Yeah, I'm happy to be wrong. Yeah, I'm happy to be wrong.
And it's like, I'm not wrong, and I know I'm not wrong, but I'll hear from you in 2 weeks. Um, and I always say the same thing, write it down, record it. And what I say, have been saying is mediumship is the gift that keeps on giving. If it doesn't
Mm.
click today, it will in 2 weeks. It might in 1 year. My favorite is like, I mean, we just get so closed off as people. Like, I was doing a group reading once, and I'm like, your mom's showing me a promotion coming. Like, there's gonna be a promotion at work. She goes, no. I'm like, you can't get a promotion at work. She's like, no, I could. I'm like, well, I'm telling you, you're getting one. Like,
Yeah.
you're not. I was like, do you not want a promotion? And she was like, well, no, like I do. And I was like, okay, then like take the answer, take the message and go. Um, but in general, my advice for people is I would just say going in, hmm, I think if I was to have an appointment with myself, let me like picture it that way.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, there's kind of two ways you can go with this. One, I would say just stay open. Like, be really open. You really have to have a trusting relationship with the medium you're working with. And I know we'll get to that a little bit later, but if I was seeing me, I'd be like, what do I need to hear? Because you don't always know what you need to know, what you need to hear. And it might be somebody you're not
Mhm.
expecting coming through to deliver a message that is deeply transformational for you.
Mhm.
So that's one way I would approach it. And the other way is just if you really want to hear from one person and you want to talk to them for the whole time, I would say to my medium up front, I'm just hoping to talk to my dad. I miss him so much. I want to hear from him. I want to spend the whole hour with him. Because then it's like, great. I will like not put all my energy into like seeing who's here and I'll just invite dad forward. We'll
Mhm.
validate him and we'll just let you two have this beautiful time together.
Yeah, and I do want to give you props for that. I've seen and worked with a lot of mediums over the years, and you are very good at you want dad, I'll go get him. And you get them every single time. I know I can't do that. Sometimes I'm like, let me see if they're there. But you are very, very good. Like every single time. I know I've heard you say this before. You're like, you want dad? I'll go get him. You want your mom? I'll go get her. You want that cousin named Annabelle? Here we go. And
Yeah.
that is like something that I really like. I'm always like, Brie is good. And this is why, because not everyone can do that. Not everyone can be like, yeah, let me go get your dad. A lot of mediums are just like, whoever's there is who I can talk to.
Oh, I feel like really, really lucky for that skill. I don't know how I have it, where it came from.
Yeah, that's
I don't even know
amazing.
how to advise somebody on it. It just is. And it's like, I'm so grateful and thank you for that reflection.
Well, and I like the analogy that you've used before is like I'm walking into a party and sometimes the person at the front door isn't who you want to
Hmm.
talk to. And you can be like, okay, where's your dad in the party? Where I'm like,
Yeah,
who's at the front door? I'm going to talk to those first three people because they're right in front of me. But
totally.
not always who you
It's
want to talk
tough
to.
because sometimes, I'm thinking about a client I read who her mother-in-law came through first, and I'm like, I tell everybody before the reading, it's like I'm going to a party. Sometimes the most outgoing people are the ones to greet you first. And she's like, oh my God, I don't want to talk to her. And I'm like, whoa, 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 wait. Like, and she validated all this stuff about her divorce and all these apologies. And it was like, see, sometimes the first person to greet you like does have something to say. So I always hear them out. Like, I feel like it'd be disrespectful towards spirit to be like, no, like I'll let them say things and then I'm like, okay, I'll tell her. And if she doesn't want to hear it, that's fine.
Yeah. And I also feel like sometimes those people help bring other people in.
Yes, yes,
Going
all the
back to,
time.
yeah, when people don't want to hear about it, it was like three women that came together. So it
Mm.
was her mom, her aunt, and her mother-in-law. And it's like, I know you don't want to hear from your mother-in-law, but the three women came together and it's almost like a little gaggle of conversation. This person's saying this person's saying this, which is nice because it makes it like a conversation.
Yeah, that's I really love when they do that and when they like I find I will get oftentimes in group readings like I don't even know what to call them. Like the loved one who will come through to be like yanking me over to their person to be like, "Hi, I'm grandma." And I'm like, "Oh, your grandma's here." And then I'm like, "Oh, we're not talking to grandma though. Okay, hold on. She wants to show me your, sibling who passed." And then it's like the outgoing person will come get you, especially those like sensitive, raw, gooey losses that are like really vulnerable and hard. You feel it in your body when you're
Hmm.
doing the reading, doing the group reading, especially in group settings. Like it's so vulnerable. And I understand and respect that so much for our clients. And I don't want to be
Hmm.
like, not, oh, you're telling that nothing's making sense. It's like, well, they're in such an emotional state, such a vulnerable state to receive these things. And if someone's just sitting there wanting to talk to their mom, like, who am I to say that? Oh, I can't believe they didn't get all this stuff about their grandma. It's like, well, yeah, because they really wanted to hear from their mom, and they will.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that's a good point you bring up is when you are receiving a reading, if it's in one-on-one or group, it is very emotional and you're like in this heightened state, you're expecting something. So it can be hard to also hear certain things.
and
I'm
you're in
always
a
like,
room of strangers,
yeah.
like total strangers, and sometimes you're on a microphone, and I'm like, okay, is this your mom? And just like holding a microphone to your face, and it's like,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
hard.
yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
it's tough to, sometimes if it's a person's first time getting a reading, you're not just delivering that message, you're breaking every belief they had. Everything's
Mm,
crashing down in that moment. There is an afterlife. They are there. This is real. They're connecting to me. They saw me do this thing. And it's like
Yeah.
this like magical balloon popping in the best way that's like opening their eyes, and it's shocking. It can be really
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Actually, I've never thought about that. You're totally right. And there's always that one piece. Again, I like when people tell me about their readings. They're like saying certain things. They're like, there's no way she could have known this one thing. Like everything else was like, no, 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 no. But this one specific thing was like, yeah, I guess the thing that popped the balloon of like, there's no way. Or I love when two mediums say the same thing. So they're like, oh,
Yes,
medium told me that a year ago. Oh, so and so told me that a year. And I was like, yes. And I was
it's
like,
so
that is,
validating.
oh, that's the creme de la creme. That you're like, you've heard this from three different mediums? Hell yeah. Like, this is amazing.
And then I'm always
But
like,
yeah,
why
you're
aren't you
right.
doing it?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, we can jump to like kind of group readings as well. When I still never forget this, when we were doing in Banff, I think we had like 65 people in a room and we were in this beautiful room and there's huge windows. And me and you were kind of standing in the corner as everyone was entering. And we were like comparing notes. I was like, who do you got? And you're like, who do you got? I'm like, yeah, I got that guy's grandma, that guy's mom. You're like, yeah, I see that guy's mom. I see that guy. And then there was two ladies in like the middle on the right side, and they were just sitting there with their arms crossed, looking so unhappy. And we were like both like, look at those two. Well, they don't want to get read. Next. And it was just like I thought about it afterwards. I'm like, there were two people who came and paid whatever the ticket price was, and they sat there the entire 2 hours with their arms crossed and a disgusted look on their face. And, whether you were coming to be proven something or I don't know, you wanted to witness it. But I was like, that is a perfect way of saying, I do not want to get read. Don't come near me. Don't come near my energy. I am not open to this. So it was really interesting. We were both like, well, those two people don't want to get read. And we just went to the next person. So I guess
Energy
if body language is really important for any type of reading.
for anything at all, period. Energy is
Yeah.
everything. When you go to
Yeah.
a restaurant and you sit down like that, the server's like, great, I have to serve
Yeah.
these people. It's like, oh, hi, what do you want to drink? Oh, well, you tell me. Like, what? We have water. Oh, okay, fine, I'll have the water, right? Like,
Yeah.
most people live miserable lives in every arena. Like, they're just in everything
Yeah.
bad. And I try to remind myself that to like not take things too personally because it is, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to be in a profession where people are buying tickets hoping to see you fail. Because you don't go to see a
Interesting.
singer hoping they're gonna mess it up. They're not gonna hit the note.
Yeah.
They're gonna trip and fall.
Yeah.
But
Or
for
they can
some
prove to
people,
you that they can
yeah, they
sing.
want this proof. And I'm like, girl, I've done 3,000 medium readings. Like, you don't think if this was fake, like somebody would have caught me by now? Like,
Yeah.
I can't convince people, but I can show them the magic. And if they want to sit there with a sourpuss look on their face, that's just ruining their experience, not mine.
Mm,
And what I always say to people is, yeah, it's literally energy. That's all we have to
yeah.
work with.
And it's up to you. Like you are really in charge. If you don't want people to come through, they won't. If you don't want to hear something, they won't say it.
And the more
So,
open you are, the more powerful the messages can flow. And what you'll like this analogy, what I always say to people is when you do that, when you close off like this, I can still read you, but you're going to take me from Wi-Fi to dial-up.
oh, I love
Because
that.
now it's no longer like, my ear is to like a thin papery wall. Now my ear is to a brick wall. And I'm trying to make sense of this because you are that wall between me and spirit.
Mm, yeah. And it's interesting because I do a lot of practice circles and I work with a lot of people who are developing mediums. So when I'm giving them sitters to practice on, I have a list of rules for the sitter. And
Oh, tell me. I want to come to one of these.
yeah,
Like,
well,
but I
because
want
they're
to like,
practicing. Yeah. They're
yeah.
practicing, right? I'm like, you are not testing a medium you're paying $500 for. You are helping someone learn. Here are the rules. Rule number one, they cannot say the word no. So
Mm.
when you're learning, a no is like a shot to the heart.
Shot
So
to heart.
yeah. So I always say they have two options. If the medium wants to practice with no's, they have to say that. Hey, Bri, today I want to practice with a no. So if something doesn't make sense, say the word no. If you are a
Mm.
brand new medium and you can't deal with no's yet, because that can be again the brick wall, I'm always like, you say something else. I'm not sure. I'll write that down. Let me think about it. I can't think of it right now, but I'll write that down.
Yeah.
Because we just don't, again, want to ruin that flow for the new medium. And it's also one of my things is open body language. You're going to sit, you're going to smile, you're going to nod, you're going to be in the camera view. You're not going to have crossed arms. You're not testing them.
Oh.
But yeah, when you go to pay people like you, it is almost like a test. It's like, show me what you can do. So again, if you want to get the best possible reading out of your one on one or group, open up your arms, nod, smile, be engaged because you're just saying, come to me, come to me, come to me. And we will come to you. Or like, oh, look at that person nodding and smiling. It's like your student. They're like, oh, look at this person listening to me. Of course, they're going to get my attention.
And I say in group readings now, I say that there's two other entities that are always present in these, and it's hope and fear. And
Mm,
it's okay that that fear is there. It's okay that I hate the word skeptic. Men love to use it. I don't agree with the word skeptic. I
mm,
think that it's a defense and I don't want to cry. And if this is real, what does that mean about me and my life and my loved
yeah.
ones? So anyway, I'll say, you're allowed to have that fear. I understand it. You're using discernment. You're making sure that you can trust the person in front of you, which if you've waited 3 months and you've paid the fee, I would hope by then, like you trust me already, because then
Yeah.
you can go in and it's gonna flow like melted butter, like just so beautifully. But if you come in after all that time, still not trusting, it's gonna be hard. But in those group settings where, yeah, somebody doesn't even know my name, somebody brought them, okay, cool, I'll try this. And I always say, like, I just invite hope to sit forward first and put fear at the back of the room just for now. And let me see if I can, show you a little something today that you've never seen before.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really beautiful. I love that.
And I don't
Um,
mind a hopeful skeptic. I don't mind somebody who's feeling nervous but hopeful or, has had a bad reading before. I understand that,
mhm.
that there's,
Yeah.
kooky people out there. But it's just always like, give me a chance,
Yeah.
let me show you how
And I guess
beautiful.
that kind of leads to one of the questions I wanted to talk about with you. And this is what I say for even when you're choosing anyone to work with spiritually, or a Reiki master teacher, a medium, a psychic that you want to give your money to. And I was kind of joking earlier where I'm like, yeah, it's easy for us to read someone. We're psychics. It's like, oh, yeah, this person's real. Or no, 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 don't give that person your money. But for the average muggle who are trying to find a medium, a psychic, a good Reiki master teacher, it's like, how do they know what to look for? Or like, maybe we should talk about there should be a vetting process before you give someone your money and book an appointment. You should see if you vibe with them.
Yeah, right. And I feel like that's kind of what our social media pages are, like
Mm,
have a look at me. Do I like, when like you see somebody walking through, like just walking down the street, and you're like, oh, I love their energy. Like you can just tell
yeah.
somebody you're going to click with. Like your energy knows that. And if you see my page and feel like, oh, I feel connected to her. I don't even know where I feel connected to her. That's something in you telling you that. And if you have that with another reader that you follow that you're like, I just really love her energy. Like, I would trust that more than anything. That is your intuition speaking.
Yes.
And then, as much as there's social media and there's these podcasts and there's all these ways to reach people, the number one is still word of mouth and referrals. Almost
Yep.
all of my readings come from my friend's a hairdresser and was telling me about you, or this person had a reading with you and told me about you. And I think that those like true, honest moments of somebody referring you is probably one of the most powerful ways. And it also just makes me so happy to imagine these two people and the conversation they had to be having to get to this place of, have you had a medium reading? Because it's usually dancing around the topic of grief and being really
Mhm.
vulnerable. And I think that mediumship should also just be more normalized. Like it shouldn't be like, have you had a medium reading? Like, I think it's just part of the healing journey. It's like you have a massage therapist, you have a therapist. Like, who's taking care of your soul, your spirit? Like, that's where we come in.
Yeah. We're like, hi, we're here for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
And
that's really interesting. For me, it's a photo. So, especially when I'm
mm,
working with my mentees and we're building a website or I'm trying to convince them why social media is so important. I was like, for me, you get less than 10 seconds. I'm going to click on your website, I'm going to look at your photo, and I'm going to know instantly if you're my person or not. And if it's a no, X. And if your photo is 15 years old, X. And if it's a not clear
Mhm.
photo, X. And if it's a selfie, X. I was like, those photos are how people are connecting with you. Like you said, do I connect with Bri? Do I like her photo? Do I like her vibe? Do I like her Instagram page? Because then you're going to like your reading and you're going to
Yeah.
like your type. I like to compare it to hairdressers. I was
Yeah,
like,
same.
yeah, when you find your hairdresser that cuts it the way you want, when you say half an inch and she does half an inch and she always, that's your hairdresser for life. Like if she moves, you move. If like she stops doing hair, you're like, well, I'm never cutting my hair again. But you had to find that person to do it the way you like. So
Yes.
it sometimes takes a few hairdressers before you're like, hey, she actually listens when I say only half an inch. She's not taking 3 inches off my hair and being like, well, your hair was dead and you needed that. No, no,
Yeah,
I'm
and
the type of person I ask for half an inch, give me half an inch off.
the other thing too is like I have group readings up on YouTube so people can go and watch and see exactly what they're going to get. This is how my reading.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
Yeah, so that you can just see exactly what's to be expected. And then the other thing too is just like making sure you have aligned values with that person and
Hmm.
making sure that like, yeah, they connect with you on like a human to human level too.
Yeah. So I guess if we were to say, if you are looking for any type of, ugh, I hate the word healer, but like any type of support. So a medium, a psychic, a Reiki person, anyone in the spiritual realm is, yeah, do a little bit of research, 15 minutes of research, go to their website, go to their
And you
social
can
media.
also ask them questions. You can
Yes. Email them.
send them an email and just
Yeah.
say, feeling nervous, like, could you tell me how you handle this? Or
Yes.
feeling like worried about, I don't want to bring up this person. Is that something you're able to work around? And you'll get a really good idea of who that person is through their response.
Yes. An email is always a great idea. I get emails all the time of people asking questions. I'm like, you should be asking questions. This is amazing. You wouldn't
Yeah.
just give your money to someone without being like, hey, what am I getting for this? Yeah. Oh, I love that. So you are one of, I guess, the only people that I personally know who is a full-time medium. And I know something we're always talking about is our on and off switch. And something we also have in common is we are always off. Unless we're working, we are like head in the sand. I'm like la 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 la. I'm not listening. But yeah, maybe you can talk about this is your full-time job. You're 9 to 5. You're whatever it is, but you do this all day, every day. What's that like for you? What's that experience?
Oh my God, this work is my life force. Like it is what brings me so much purpose, so much connection to literally my own soul and why I'm here on earth. And yeah, I've been doing this full time. I think it'll be 5 years this fall that I've been
Yeah, you
self.
started, I still remember Halloween,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that's
Is when you went full
right.
time? Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, I
Halloween is
remember.
right. And this will be 5 years this year, which is so, I just feel so lucky. I feel so lucky to have been somebody who spent their life searching for this feeling inside of me. Like, I know I'm meant to help people and I know I'm meant to do something. And I'm sure people listening right now who are just starting to get in touch with their abilities can relate to that feeling of like, I know I'm here to do something, but I can't quite find it. And then now that I like have it just even on the days where it's hard, because there are hard days with this work. There's hard people, I should say.
Yeah. There's the
Uh,
tester.
exactly. And I just always come back to like, I'm doing what I'm meant to do. And it fills me up in ways that nothing else can. And when it's time for a break, spirit is like, you better sit down, you better open a book and just disconnect from the world because it's a lot to. I think I often underestimate the impact of our work
The
on us.
energy, yes.
My partner is very good at reminding me of that because I'm like, oh, I love what I do. It doesn't drain me. But then, every day you're here, you're seeing and channeling people's hardest moments and their most
Mhm.
beautiful moments. And it's impossible, I think, to fully separate yourself. Like, I don't know that I ever could because you're witnessing just this beautiful human moment. And I think that sometimes maybe it does take a little toll. And And then I just
Yeah.
take a little nap with my cats and
Yeah.
recharge and do the
And
things
I
that,
think, yeah, we're still witnessing the magic. And sometimes I like want to go tell my friend, like, Guess what happened at work today?" But I also find like there's no words. Like when I
uh-huh.
go to try to explain what happened at work today, I'm like, I can't even tell you the story because I'm not going to do it justice. Even when I try
No,
to do
it's like you have to
podcasts
be
on things,
there.
yeah, I'm just like, I can't even do 1/100th of how cool this was because there literally are no words.
There's no
Yeah,
words.
today was crazy. That's what I always say. And like crazy isn't even a good word, but I'm just like, today was crazy. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
This wild thing happened. Whoa. Like that's all I can say.
Yeah, and I think it's like so important for us as spiritual workers to be taking care of our own energy. And, if we're not in our optimal mental space and physical
Mhm.
space and all those
Mhm.
other things, like we can't do the work the way maybe we want to or we best
Yeah.
can. I always check in, like if I'm going through something, if I'm going through grief myself, or, if I'm exhausted, is like asking, like, can I give this person, the magic they deserve today, the reading they deserve today? And if the answer is no, I'll always reschedule. I'll never do a disservice to spirit and to that person.
Yeah, and I've done a podcast episode on this before, but just as a refresher, this is also why I say mediumship readings are the price that they are and very valuable for that price. We see the price as $300 for 50 minutes. What? And I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm not 50 minutes. I'm on the clock for you for 24 hours. Because yesterday I had to make sure I had a good sleep and I couldn't have gone to a party and I couldn't have stayed out till midnight and I wasn't drinking a bottle of wine. I was making sure I got my rest. And then I woke up and I probably had to go outside. I probably had to move my body. I probably had to go to the gym. I had to eat good and healthy food. I had to make sure I drank enough water. I had to make sure my space was clear. I had to make sure I was clear. I had to make sure I was feeling good. I had to make sure everything was perfect so that I could work. And it's not just that 50 minutes, it's everything that comes before that 50 minutes. It's the 24 hours before. Your reading is 24 hours because yesterday I started working for you. This morning, when your dad showed up early, I was working for you. When I was at the grocery store buying really good and healthy food, I was working for you. When I was at the gym making sure my body is in tip top shape, I was working for you. And it's all these things that are so important and cannot be ignored in spirituality. You can't ignore one of those things: your body, how you feel, your space, your energy, like make water, food, exercise, being outside, whatever it is. That's all part of your reading so that you can show up.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's such a beautiful way to reframe it. And
Hmm.
And the other thing too is like I would hope people don't get stuck on the price because it's like I'm not working 8 hours a day. I'm not doing 8 readings at that.
Yes, yeah,
Like,
that's another
you
thing.
know,
Another thing is this is magic. You can't do 8 hours. This
yeah.
is, yeah. It's like if
And
you
it
can only do
depends on the
two
medium,
hours.
but I only like to do two a day because otherwise I am
Mm,
exhausted. I am losing myself. I am not the person I want to be, especially as I've
mm,
grown and done this work for as long as I have. It's like I'm not just here to say like, "Oh, did grandma make, apple pie?" Like you said before, I'm here to be like, "Grandma's here to apologize for the way she raised your mom because that's impacting you
yeah, it's
now."
deep
It's
stuff. Yeah.
deep healing and, it's like I always say it's like reverse therapy, like my partner's a therapist and, her job is to get people to talk. And then for me, my job is to go in and do the talking myself and go, "Here's
Oh,
everything."
yeah.
Like, I go inside out with people. I know everything about you instantly, and it's
Mm,
like, "You know nothing about me, and you don't need to, because it's like it
mm,
all just comes, through on its own, and, too, I think something that because if I could do this for free, I would. If I could live a life I wanna have and have my 5 cats paid for, I would.
yeah.
That's how much I love this
Yeah.
work, but unfortunately, we live in a capitalistic society, and
Yeah.
I'm just always like, "Okay, so $300, for example, how much did you pay at your last hair appointment?"
Mm-hmm. Or the
Getting
last time you went
highlights
out for dinner or the last bottle of
and
wine
dinner?
or, yeah.
And you're not doing this twice a year. I'm grabbing my hair. You're not doing a
Yes.
medium reading twice a year. You're doing it some people once in a
Once.
lifetime, some people
Mm-hmm.
once a year,
Yeah.
some people like to do it a couple times a year. So it's really like where, other people might, I don't even want to say like see the value because it's like, I think it's
The
something
value's there.
that exists outside of regular business structures.
Yeah, and I heard another medium say what was really beautiful, and I think it was John Edwards, and he was charging like thousands of dollars for a reading. And someone was like, "How dare you do that?" And he was like, "Oh, no, no, let me explain." He was like, "Mediumship is free. Like your loved one messages are free. You want to talk to your mom? That's free." He's like, "You want me to channel anyone you want? That's free." He's like, "You want an hour of my time? That's not free. You want to see me Tuesday at 2 p.m.? That costs money." And I'm sure you have friends. We have friends. They always want stuff. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, when I have time, I will do that for
Yeah.
you. You're waiting minimum 6 weeks, minimum
Yeah.
for me to have time and the energy after work. It's like, hey, can we do this? Hey, can we do this? Yeah, when I have time. Yeah, when I have time. You want Tuesday at 2 p.m.? That costs money. You want to wait till I have time? You'll be waiting a long time. So again, it's not about the mediumship. It's about the hour of time. You can only do 2 a day. That makes it very valuable. So it's about the exchange as well.
And it's tough too, because it's like if I don't charge this, I don't get to do this work.
Yeah.
I'd have to go and have a full-time job again, where I would only be able to do a few times a week. But
Mm.
because of that price and because of how often I do it, this is what lets me pay my rent, buy my groceries, pay for my car.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. We got
So
to
I
keep
feel
our animals nice and happy.
right. They have to have their little
Yeah.
churu before bed, or what are they gonna do?
Yeah, little Arch. Speaking of haircuts, he gets more haircuts than I do because they're more expensive. Yeah, so I guess going back to that kind of prep, what are your go-to things before work and after work? What
Oh,
do you
yeah.
love to do?
Oh, I mean, I love nature. So if I can go for a walk or a swim, I live in Collingwood now. So it's so beautiful. Like I have so much access to nature now. So, I
Mhm.
mean, it's like a million degrees in Ontario right now. So it's not so
Eight
nice.
degrees here in Banff. We're freezing in my parka.
Are you
Okay, it's
kidding?
not,
It's eight?
dude, okay, maybe not actually 8, but we have not had any summer. Like 4 days of summer. It's been raining
We've
every day, the high of 22, like, nah.
we've had all year summer. It has
Look
been
how white
feels
I
like
am.
40 every day.
No, I don't even have a
Um,
tan. It's August,
oh,
what, 14th?
oh my God.
But
Um,
there's mountains.
but there's mountains and they're so
But yeah,
beautiful.
but there's mountains, so it's fine.
Or you could be burning up like us. But yeah, I
Yeah.
love to, I mean, I love a slow morning. I love my coffee. I love to like just do something for me beforehand and really keep my energy right. It's interesting, you're saying like you're paying for that full 24 hours. Like I often don't leave the house before the reading because if something upsets me or throws me
Oh,
off,
yeah.
it's gonna mess up. I like all I want to do this week is go to Home Sense and get some nice, hand soaps, but like I can't go before work because if something happens that throws my energy off, I'm toast. I'm
Interesting.
cooked. So I like to do my readings like earlier in the day if I can, because then it's like then the rest of the day is like mine to clear my energy, reset my energy, rest, watch reality TV, laugh a lot, like be with my partner, be with our cats, be with like the magic of life, because all this work does is teach me about living and teach me about putting life into perspective and asking
Mm.
myself, am I living the way I want to live right now? Am I creating a life that I'm going to be proud of when I'm gone? Am I telling the people I love what they need to hear right now? And of course, you can always find me on a weekend or in a morning pulling tarot cards, meditating. Like I am this person through and through and through, day in and day out. But I think it's just yeah, making sure my energy feels good and right, listening to music, clearing the space between clients, and literally my cats, like they're my spiritual helpers. I just like
Yeah.
clear me out. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Archie is that for me. For me, it's the gym. I have to go to the gym before work.
Yes.
It like turns me on. I'm like, okay, I'm on now. I'm ready to go. My energy's on. And if I don't go to the gym, I'm like, ugh, ugh, ugh. It's almost like my body's not working. And then within maybe 15, 20 minutes maximum at the end of my day, Archie is on his leash and we are outside walking, no phones, no, just completely unplugged. And I was like,
Yeah.
I have to be outside instantly. There's like the going up, okay, we're turning on, and then there's the coming down. Okay, we're done, we're finished. And like you said,
And
nature is
there's
amazing.
so much of our work is being of service to others and pouring out to others, giving like a little piece of ourselves to others. And I think that's why it's so important when we're not in it to be pouring into ourselves. And I think that's
Hmm.
why it's hard. Friends are like, oh, are you picking up my person right now? You're like, girl, I'm exhausted. Like,
Yeah.
tell me a funny story. Like, tell me something to revitalize me. Or
Yeah.
like, do you have something you can give me and I'll give you this
Yeah.
in
Can you
return?
talk and I'll just listen? Yeah, I love
Hmm.
at the bar when you tell someone, I'm like, oh, what do you do for work? I'm like, oh, I'll avoid this. But if somehow it comes up, they're like, oh, what are you picking up on me? I'm like, absolutely nothing. I have a gin in my hand and I'm not thinking about anything. And I'm not about to turn on to get anything.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, yeah, when we're not working, I'm like, la la la, like, oh, what
So
happened in
like,
your
are you in
day?
a place to receive this right now? Like, are you
Yeah.
ready to
It's
cry?
midnight. Are you sure you want to open this can of worms?
Yeah. Yeah. Will you ever do group readings again? Will you ever pair up and do a group reading together?
Mm-mm-mm. I know we were gonna plan one. I know I'm gonna do them. Like spirit's like rolling with their eyes at me right now. I know I'm gonna do readings. When is the question? So like, will I do them again? Yes. But for all the reasons that we've just been talking about, mediumship is hard. And I really give kudos to you that you do this every day. You're talking about grief and it's sad and it's hard and it's big stuff. And I think that's what I'm more like when I'm ready to hold that space every day, which is a lot of work. That's when. So I kind of feel like I'm still young and playful and I'm like, la la la, I'm avoiding my responsibilities. But I have 30 more years in this work, so I'm gonna be doing it. I don't know when, but probably sooner
I
than I
just
think.
feel so deeply in my bones. I was born to do this. And I've said to my partner time and time again, like, it doesn't matter if there's one person in the room or 100, I will always use my gift. I will
Mhm.
be a medium, be a channel until I can't speak any longer. Like,
Mm,
it's just, I know deep within myself it's what I'm meant to do.
yeah.
Um, and I hope we get to share the stage again one day.
I
This
know, that was so
is
fun. I could see us being little old ladies on stage still doing group readings.
funny, just like, oh, I can't wait to the point that I get to be like the Sylvia Brown that's just rhyming off insane things and people are just, I'm so caring and considerate that sometimes I'm like, am I being too nice? If somebody's giving me sass, can I just be like, okay, never mind, next?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I always give a little warning. I'm like, is it okay if we go there? I'm like, I'm gonna, or I'll say, I'm gonna say something you're not gonna like. And then I
yes,
just,
I
oh,
say that
oh,
too.
yeah. I can't not say this, but I'm gonna give you a little warning before.
Yeah. And I think too, overall, as I'm like reflecting on our conversation, is like, I can guarantee you're going to be better for a medium reading, not worse. Like, even the bad
Yes,
ones I find are fun. If you're having a bad reading, just,
roll with it.
I don't know because I've never had a bad reading. I don't have experience with that.
Mm.
But I've had the kooky tarot readers that are like, "Oh yeah, your husband," and I'm like, "Girl, I'm a lesbian, but
You
yeah,
are
you're
wrong.
right."
Yeah.
It's just kind of like anything else in this world, just using your discernment, being hopeful and finding the right people. And I believe in, the power of a law of attraction and the power of like calling to like that you will find your medium at the right time. Somebody will say that name
Mhm.
that you need to hear at the right time. And sometimes you gotta get a few bad haircuts before you find the good
Yeah,
one.
if I really find your people, yeah. I've been trying to talk to my dad for 20 years, but it wasn't the right time. You didn't find the right person. But as soon as you do, it's the magic. It's the magic bubble. I really like that analogy.
I love hearing that. I love when people say, I've seen mediums and I've never talked to my dad. I'm always like, "Ah, you've come to the right
Yeah.
place. Like I've got
Yeah.
you." Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Well, this was so fun to talk shop for a little bit. Thank you for coming back on the podcast. We do have another episode years ago. I'll put it in the show notes because I don't remember how long ago, but 6 years in podcasting, there is a medium named Bri all over this. But yeah, how can people find you? How can they see if they vibe with you, like you?
You can use your referral link, medium in the middle, for
Yeah, I should get a referral link.
it's
I
just
want
a
commission.
medium name Bree everywhere. My website's a medium name Bree, my Instagram, whatever you need, it's there. And I'm always happy to answer any questions that are leaving you feeling hesitant, but know that grief is a good friend of mine, and I love to hold you and your feelings and your memories and your people with tenderness and warmth. And I'm always here when you need me.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes you special is that you do truly care about the emotions going on in the mediumship reading because sometimes that can be forgotten. And I think we did talk about it a lot today, the emotions of it, the feelings of it, the skepticism, the excitement, the hope, the dreams, there's so much going on. So it's a special thing. And yeah, we're both very lucky to live in this world all day, every day. It's beautiful and great. Yeah, I'm always
I
like, this
forget
is
that for
fun.
people, it's like out of the normal. Like they're like, oh,
Yeah,
I have a card
I
on
know.
my desk, and everyone makes fun of me for it. I'm like, what? I forget now. It's just so innate to who we are that I'm like, oh, my
Yeah.
friend, she's also a medium. Like,
Yeah, I know, it's so funny. Someone was like, "Oh, like, I'm gonna tell you a weird story." And I was like, "Trust me, you can never tell me a weird story."
always
I was like,
say
"Nothing
that.
is weird." Like,
Nothing
and
is
they're like,
weird.
"Oh, yeah,
Nothing is crazy. Yeah.
literally." There no weird story exists to us because we're like,
No,
"Yeah, oh, you went this, this, this. Oh, you had this dream. Oh, you were at the graveyard and that. Cool. Happened to me
yeah.
too."
Oh, and I love those
Um,
stories. I love when people find out you're a medium and they just can't wait to tell you this like sacred experience they had with a sign. Like, it makes me so
yeah.
happy.
I love hate that they just want us to say, "Yes, that's real." But I'm like,
Mhm.
"Yes, that's your loved one. Yes, that's your mom." I had a I was working with a student and I was trying to show her these signs and she was like, "I think this was my mom." And she wrote me an email. And I wrote back and I wrote in quotations, "I think it was your mom too." And I was just like trying to get people to see like if you think it's your mom, it's your mom. And then she wrote back like ha 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 like of course it's my mom. But again, when we say it, you're going to believe me. But when your mom tells you something, it's like, was it my mom? I think it was my mom. So I was like, I think it was your mom too.
Right. It's always just like the answer is yes. Like I don't even
Yes.
need to hear it. Like, yes, it was them.
Yeah. Oh, this was so fun. Okay. Thank
Well,
you for
thank you for having
coming.
me back on the iconic Medium in the Middle podcast. Congratulations to 6 years of
Thank you.
your podcast and sharing your voice and helping so many people all around the world who are getting in touch with their own spirituality. You're a light for them. And we're all so glad that you show up every week. It's not easy to be consistent as an entrepreneur and as a healer, as you
Mm.
are. But you do it, and it's a gift to everyone who comes into your orbit. So thank you for sharing your
Oh,
time.
thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for coming on. I know people love a mediumship yap, so who else could I bring but you?
Well, we can yap anytime. If people wanted to do like a Q&A episode, I'll be back for anything.
Yeah, this won't be the last time you're on Medium in the Middle podcast, that's for sure. Okay, thanks, Bree.
Thank you.
Oh, that was so fun. I love talking to Bri and just being able to sit down and actually talk to her. I got to see her. We were on Zoom. Is always nice. I do this stuff every day, 6 days a week. I'm working, and Bri is also working full time as a medium. So just being able to chat, yap, and just relate to each other. I hope you enjoyed that conversation. I hope you learned something. If you are interested in booking with Bri, I will leave her link down below in the show notes and also where you can find her on Instagram. Bri is a busy gal and she is currently booking into 2026. So if you are wanting a reading, I highly recommend you book with her and book in advance. She books out for a reason. She only opens her books 3 months in advance. But I will leave all the links you need for her contact information and my contact information down below in the show notes. I have a lot of good stories coming down the line for you guys. My things to make a podcast list is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's a lot more woo coming your way. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. I release new episodes every Wednesday. If you haven't already, I would love a rating and a review. Or share this episode with a friend, someone else, maybe your woo woo bestie who would enjoy this little yap. But until next Wednesday, Middlers, when I see you in your ears, I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.